Hey guys, what's up? So I wanted to do a video about my arm, why I'm having surgery April 4th, which is 6 days from now, and how it's doing from the last surgery I had, or the last 2 surgeries I've had on it, why I'm having another surgery, that sort of thing. So I'm going to start off first with the why. So why I'm having surgery again on my arm. Basically, it's to fix some, I mean, not necessarily mistakes, but kind of more like less experienced work that was done on my arm in stage 1 phalloplasty. So stage 1 phalloplasty I had with Dr. Chen when he was with Brownstein and Crane. So he was working with microsurgeons that were fine, but they were just a little less experienced and not as innovative. So I'm more than grateful to be working with the Buncke clinic now, which Chen is directly working with the Buncke clinic now, and they've got this dream team, and I'm a little jealous, but I'm super stoked for anyone who can go to Dr. Chen and the Buncke clinic now, because they're an amazing team, and at least I get to work with them now and have them fix some mistakes. But so the mistakes that they're fixing basically is, so the original microsurgeon I had decided that I would rather have more length and went really high up my wrist, as you can see, and it's causing me some mobility issues, some kind of like circulation issues. You can see if I grip hard with my left hand versus my right hand, like how red it gets. That's because it's so tight around my wrist, and this tightness it's basically just adhered to the muscle and the tendons and all that stuff, so it doesn't allow for the skin to slide at all. So if I move my arm this way, like, it actually pulls this skin on my thumb, because this isn't moving. This is just like cement, like glued to my wrist. So it's really uncomfortable while I'm lifting and all that fun stuff. So next time, well, they don't usually go this high up on people's wrists anymore. I would gladly sacrifice a few centimeters, or even like, it's really not, you know, it gave me maybe like a few centimeters more length. I would have sacrificed that any day if I like would have known, or if I would have known to say something. But you know what? Oh well, at least there's kind of hopefully a solution for that now. The Buncke clinic now generally takes the graft lower, and they will give you, you know, you might have a little shorter peen, but you will have so much better wrist mobility, less tightness, less swelling. So if you have had, you know, if you had phalloplasty after 2018 or so, you probably have a graft that is lower down on your wrist, and for that I am jealous. But for all of you who had, you know, phalloplasty before 2017, you probably have a similar arm to what mine looks like, unfortunately. Anyway, so the solution to this problem, I'm gonna read off the email that Dr. Lin actually just sent me, just because it's going to be basically his words and I can't screw it up as much. So I emailed him some more pictures of my wrist, and I was like, okay, explain to me what we're doing, just so I can get a, you know, mental picture. And so he says, these show where the skin graft is too tight and immobile, causing your hand skin to spill over and fold on top of that. You know, as you can see, my skin is, my hand has a muffin top. Say these were jeans that were too tight. Well, this is my hand muffin top. So my hand is spilling over and fold on top of that. That skin graft is tight there, and it's very common. It very commonly is after phalloplasty. So I'll try to find the nerve that Dr. Kine had repaired, go into the top of your thumb, and protect it. I'll then remove any excess skin graft that goes too far up past your wrist. I'll then carefully peel the surrounding skin graft off of your underlying muscles and tendons, and graft a thin layer of fat underneath that skin graft to try to create a mobile sliding layer underneath, so the skin graft doesn't feel so immobile and stuck down. Once we can create a sliding surface, then hopefully we can eliminate the tight tugging sensation too. Thanks, and have a great weekend. He's so kind. So yeah, that is the plan. I feel better that I emailed him and like asked him the actual like procedure plan, just because I can get a better mental picture of it, and it sounds promising. So it's really cool. that I might be able to get, some more mobility back in the fat grafting. Hopefully that will help as well. He's gonna put some fat around this nerve to kind of like protect it, because this is really hypersensitive right here. But the good news is that this nerve is growing where they did the graft and took out the neuroma. It's growing, it's sensitive all the way up to here now, and I'm also getting some tingling sensation behind my index finger where this was like completely numb. So I can feel tingly sensation, which is good news. That hopefully means I will get feeling back here. Still completely numb at the thumb, but what can you do? So yeah, that's the current plan. I also asked you guys for some questions just so I didn't miss anything, because I know I tend to like ramble and then just, don't give you the actual information that you want to know. So I'm going to go to the questions that you guys asked me, or at least some of them that are pertaining to my arm. I'm sure I'll do more phalloplasty Q&As that pertain to everything, but this is like strictly for my arm. How many more surgeries will you have to get before your arm is back to normal? Hopefully this is the last one. He is also going to test the lymph rerouting to see if that is working, because I'm still getting a lot of hand swelling while I'm working out, while I'm sleeping. So he injects dye into my hand to see where it drains out. Before, when he did it, it just stopped the graft and it wouldn't drain any further, which is why he connected the lymph system to my veins so that it would allow it to drain through the graft. So he's gonna test that out to even see if it's working. If it's working, it's just not keeping up to my activities. So either way, like, there's a possibility that I could need more rerouting of the lymph nodes if I have more veins that are available. But I'll see what he says. I won't know until after I wake up and he tells me what that was all about. Okay, so these are just like some general questions about my arm. Like, what do I tell people about my arm scar? Do they ask? Are they curious? Do I ever cover it intentionally? So yeah, people ask. I usually tell them it's a burn, or they assume it's a burn. So they'll like put those words in my mouth and I'm like, yeah. So I just have to be like, yeah, it's a burn. If they want to know more of the situation, I usually just say it's a long story and then leave it at that. I probably used to cover it more intentionally, when I first had it. But now I kind of just forget about it. And then I'll catch people like staring, or, I feel like they want to ask me what happened, but I kind of just like make it so I avoid a question or whatever. So that's not like the best feeling, and I do want to get it tattooed over just so I can avoid the awkward questions and stuff like that. I think I get the most anxious when I'm in situations, for example, like I got sick and I had to go into like a walk-in clinic, and it was, a doctor that I didn't know, and I was nervous about getting my blood pressure taken or anything like that, because as soon as they always want your left arm for some reason, so you put out your arm and like you see like the nurses, they either ask you or you just see them like take a close, like a second glance of you, or like they're kind of shocked because they don't expect it. But it is what it is, whatever, doesn't matter. Has the skin removal on your arm affected the hand's ability to perform tasks that require higher precision, such as playing an instrument? Or do you still have the same sensitivity, dexterity in your hand that you had before? Yeah, it hasn't affected any sort of finger movements or dexterity at all. I can still do that all the same. The only thing that it's affected is my grip strength. I can't grip things as long with this hand, but I do think that has a lot to do with the tightness. It's just because it's so tight that it really it weakens my grip. So we'll see if it improves from there. Does everyone who gets phalloplasty have problems with their arm like this? No, not everybody, especially now that they're innovating and creating solutions for these things, like just taking the graft down a little bit further. I think that in itself solves a lot of problems. So not everyone's gonna have the same issues. I'm also very active, so it's more, it's more of an issue for me just because I am so active and I notice it so much. So maybe if it was someone who didn't lift or whatever, they might just be fine and might not notice it as much. But yeah, it's definitely not everyone. It could be more so related to kind of just the older way of taking the graft so high up. Are you sorry that you used your arm to create a phallus? No. I think at this point, like, anytime someone asks if I regret it or if I'm sorry for it, like, it's always going to be no. I don't regret anything. There's always going to be complications with life, whether it's with this surgery or life in general. You can't predict the future, so why would I just, like, spend my time and energy, like, feeling sorry that I did something? It's created a whole different life for me in the sense that my anxiety level is way down. Like, being with somebody and then, like, you know, using public restrooms, using a urinal, like, all those parts of life that used to cause me so much stress before, or dysphoria, like, being able to change in a locker room and not feel like people are gonna stare at me. So yeah, just feeling complete in general, of course, is gonna be way worth it. And no, I'm not sorry. Yeah, so that's about it. Some of the questions are a little bit more related to specifically phalloplasty, but I'll do more Q&As in the future so I can get to those. But I just wanted to cover my arm and why I'm having surgery on the 4th. I should be out probably like 2 to 3 weeks from the gym, which really sucks, and hopefully I stay sane. But yeah, that's the part I'm worried about the most. But after getting the email from Dr. Lin, and I just feel a bigger sense of hope and that there's going to be relief in sight. So, crossing my fingers. I'm a little nervous. Anything dealing with nerves or grafts has always been a little bit more complicated. So, we will see. But I trust Dr. Lin. He's a great surgeon. He's really, everyone at the Buncke clinic, Dr. Chen, like, I couldn't recommend them more. They're so proactive with patient care. They're always very responsive. It kind of blows my mind. So if you're getting phalloplasty, I really highly recommend them. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below. And yeah, peace out, guys. I'll see you next time.